Hi, good morning. Welcome to my channel. I'm Jason Green, and this is Go Through the Green Door. I wanted to first of all welcome you to my channel. I had a series of ideas of wondering what should I talk about. Should I talk about the fact that our oceans are getting filled up with plastic, which they are? How much energy we as human beings are using, which we are? um, all types of different things, from rubbish to cars to interviews to music to, well, basically the list is endless. Um, but anyway, I decided to talk about or share a little bit about myself first, actually. So anyway, I originally from New Zealand. Yay! Go on, Kiwis! Home with the All Blacks, by the way. And came here in '89. Fortunate enough to get a British passport through my dad. And anyway, ended up, working, meeting somebody, getting married, which is fantastic. She passed away actually 7 years into our marriage. She had quite severe illness, unfortunately, and anyway, so I kept on working, and then around 2009, I ended up having two heart attacks. Well, this kind of changed my world upside down and put a halt on me actually working. And I was kind of a what I considered a healthy guy. But all the time when I was working, I would have, I'd have like, I'd buy, you get those 6 pack of like cakes. I'd have probably one of them. I'd probably have a pack of them a day. Couple of chocolate bars. At least 3 or 4 cups of tea with 2 sugars in them. What else? Quite a number of other unhealthy things. I wouldn't eat a lot of vegetables. I'd eat a lot of pasta bakes. And yeah, basically I wasn't, I really wasn't eating the right things or taking care of what was going in to my body, that is. So anyway, it kind of built up, and I ended up having 2 heart attacks in 2009. So, but just before that, before having the diagnosis of having 2 heart attacks, I was seeing I was going along to a GP clinic, which I won't name, and seeing a few different doctors who I won't name, and I was going in with chest pains. Now, what was going on was that was the only issue with me. I was just getting tired and getting just chest pains all the while. Now, it was bad enough trying to convince myself and to convince a doctor. They just thought, I was kind of either. It got to a stage where they thought I was making it up. I made actual complaint, and I sat before actually the doctor who was in charge of the doctor clinic with the other doctor who I was under at the time, and I just thought, well, I'm just not making this up. There is something. There's something going on here, and I mean, this kind of went on for, I think, for about maybe a year, maybe less. I can't quite remember. and then, you know, just through persistence of just having chest pains, but actually getting no, the only test that they would probably go through was a blood test. I think, yeah, and also they would take my pulse, my, you know, they'd put one of those things around your arm to check, you know, to check, you know, how things are going, and they always said, you know, my blood pressure. That's what it was. Checking my blood pressure was slightly on the high side, not too, not alarming. You know, it was kind of like a little bit on the high end of, you know, there's a spectrum of, you know, that you're okay from the lower end to the higher end, and then below that lower end, you know, they need to be concerned, and beyond the higher end, they also need to be concerned. But it was between the given okay barrier, everything was okay apart from that being sort of slightly high, but not too much to be overly alarmed about. Anyway, and this was always the case with me, with my blood pressure. It was the only thing they could find. Finally, after repeatedly going into, you know, my GP clinic that I was going to, I actually went in one time, and there was thankfully and gratefully, there was this GP. I think he was just a visiting GP who I'd never seen before. He looked at my notes, and he said, well, let me put you in for actual proper test. So he put me in for a proper test, and the machine they use, actually, the test, I don't know what you call the test, but basically they use the same machine that they use on pregnant women, but they just use different settings. So so I went for that test, and the person doing that test, you know, had a look at my heart, and it was quite peculiar, because at the time the woman who was looking, actually, you know, because you got to remember, this is the same mechanism that they use to see how the baby's doing within a mother's womb, and they can give immediate prognosis and tell the patient, you know, what is happening and what is going on, and if the baby is okay. So they were using this exactly same machine on me, and she didn't tell me anything about what was going on with my heart, if there were any problems, or if anything looked not quite right. But she seemed to say, well, listen, I've got no responsibility, you know, and she sort of decided, you know, she gave me sort of some speech about, you know, it's, you know, I'm just here to do the test, and that was it. And I thought it was a little bit bizarre, her reaction. And at the time, you know, I was kind of a little bit blindsided, and I should have asked, is there anything wrong with me? Can you see anything, you know, that is going on? But I didn't, for the life of me, it didn't come into my mind to ask. Because, you know, you put your trust, you put your life into the hands of the people who are treating you and who are seeing you at the time. So anyway, so I thought everything was fine. I left, and of course, the woman said, you know, if there's anything wrong, you'll hear back from your GP clinic to let you know if there's anything wrong. So Sorry, some time went by. I can't quite remember. It was probably I would say about a month. I can't quite remember. I think it's about a month or something like that. This is going back. This is going back. You got to remember, this is going back 10 years ago. And anyways, I was at work, and again I was having like chest pains, and what happened was I had to call in to work saying, listen, I'm just going to pop into the GP, I'm having chest pains, I'll be into work that following day. So I went into my GP, saw a different doctor. She had a look on my, I told her, I was having these chest pains. She had a look at my notes that was written down on her computer screen, and she basically said, "Looks like you've had a heart attack," and she said, "We need to get you to A&E like straight away." And actually, what actually happened was I ended up catching the bus to A&E. And they were already prepped and ready to receive me. It's still, when I think about it now, it's still pretty dramatic. It's still, it still gets me, puts a lump at my throat. Anyway, so what had actually happened is there was a build up because I'd been eating the wrong stuff for over a long period of time. You have to remember, this is over a long period of time. It just didn't. What happened was there was a build up of sugar that it was almost blocking one of my arteries close to the heart. And also it had been blocking some of the smaller arteries that they couldn't get to. So what they did was they put in the stent to actually open up the artery so blood could flow through. So they did that, and the surgery was successful, which is great. And then whilst I was in the hospital, I remember, they often had, after you've had something like that done, or whenever you go into hospital, before they discharge you, they have, a person that comes around and issues you with the medication. And so the woman who came around said, yeah, you're going to be on this medication, this medication, this medication, this medication, and this medication, and the list seemed to go on. So it was about 13 lots of medication that I was going to be on, and I thought, well, that's quite a lot. But me being positive, being the cheerful chap that I normally am, I thought, well, this might be only like a few months or maybe some weeks. And so I asked her, by the way, how long am I going to be on this for? And she said, oh, you're going to be on it for life. As if it was she didn't say, unfortunately, I'm going to have to tell you, you're going to be on this for the rest of your life. She just said, oh, you're going to be on this for life. And then she walked away. And I was left so stunned. Just, I think that overall really got to me. Because you suddenly realize that, life's not going to be the same anymore. And that really, I couldn't believe anybody would tell somebody that kind of news like that. to be honest, this is the first time that I've actually said anything about it. I've sort of kept it to myself. Um, no, not really talked to anybody really about this. But I really wanted to put it out there, and so that wasn't the end of it. What happened was, after that came out, and so started taking the medication, and after that, I obviously felt a lot better. I felt a bit like a new man, really, after they put a stent in. So, sometime afterwards, I resumed work. I felt great, and then within a few weeks later, I started getting out of breath again. And I remember walking to work one day, and I was extremely out of breath. As I was actually on the way to work, there's just a small incline, and I was just getting out of breath walking up the slow incline, thinking, "Am I going to walk? Am I going to actually get over?" It was like twice the size, about 3 times the size of a car bump. Yeah. So if you imagine, one of those car bumps on the road, it's about 3 times the height of that. But it was obviously longer. And I was thinking, am I be able to reach the top and get over this little mound on the way to work, walking on the way to work? And when I made it into work, but then that morning I was in really bad shape. I was out of breath. And then my boss came to me and said, "Are you feeling okay?" I said, "No." She said, "Do you want me to call an ambulance?" I said, "Yeah, you better call an ambulance." So they called in an ambulance. The ambulance came. They put me in the back of an ambulance. They hooked me up to everything that they had in there. And they said, sorry, Mr. Green, looks like you're having another heart attack. Because I told them what had happened before. And I thought, oh no, great. And then everything broke loose from there. Like basically the guys shut the door. They basically, put the metal to the pedal, had the sirens going, and I got rushed to the hospital. Actually, this time we went to the heart hospital this time, and that was intense. And again, I think they had put in another stent, and then I think this time they had to prescribe me warfarin, which is a medication that you're on for either life or a very long time. It thins the blood, so it makes it easier for the blood to go around the system. But it takes a little while for your body to get used to it, because if you cut yourself, or even if you cut yourself shaving, as I had done soon after, I couldn't stop bleeding, because obviously it thins your blood and it stops the blood from clotting quickly. And then I received the news that after that that they told me that because of I don't know, to this day I don't know whether it was the first heart attack or the second heart attack that caused this, but they said that having a heart attack obviously can damage your heart. And I think that's probably why people die, because obviously it can damage the heart so much that obviously you end up dying. But fortunately, my heart it wasn't it did damage it misshaped my heart, which created and as a result it created a blood clot within my heart, and so that's why they had to put me on warfarin. I think maybe it was maybe it was the second heart attack they did, or maybe the first one maybe slightly did misshapen it, and then the second one did more damage to it, or maybe it was just the second one that really damaged it, and then they had to prescribe me the warfarin after that. and so I think they put in. I think they put in another another. Oh, you have to excuse me. They'd put in another something else to keep my artery open, and then prescribed me warfarin. So then after that, my life was definitely changed. I wasn't, because all the medication that I was on now, it made me tired, worn out. I used to be a guy who, I felt good about, not being ill. I barely missed time off work. And so I was just reduced to just being at home. So then I did obviously claim benefits and etc. etc. So 10 years on, kind of in the same boat, and people, and the thing about it is, this is the thing that you have to realize is there are people out there who may look just fine, right? To me, if you take a picture of me and you said, oh, there's nothing looks like there's nothing wrong with you. Well, actually, this is like an invisible disease. Not disease, but an issue that I have. And of course, I know there are a lot of people who may struggle with various kind of illnesses or issues with their health. And to look at them, you may think that there is nothing wrong with them. I've had loads of people who told me, well, what's wrong with you? And they'd known me for years, and I had to remind them I had 2 heart attacks, and I am not being well. And they said, yeah, I know you had 2 heart attacks, but it's like the way I was treated. I felt like I had to keep on reminding them that actually, no, that had affected me and is going to affect me for the rest of my life. And so people can still think that because you can do X, Y, and Z, you should be fine to do A, B, and C. But yet every day is a very different day. And so, when it comes to people who have invisible disabilities, like even when I get on the bus, like even yesterday I was sitting in a disabled, in the bus, you use the seats for either disabled people or elderly people. And I feel guilty about sitting in those seats. Because I look at elderly people and I think, yeah, okay, offer them a seat. Or pregnant women, offer them a seat. But yeah, when I'm sitting on the bus, I feel like if somebody's going to approach me and say, sorry, why are you sitting in here? I feel like saying, putting out my medical history, and I made myself a little card of how much medication I'm taking, and saying, listen, I'm on 30 medication. How many medication are you on? Just to justify how I am in public. So, and I know, this is just my story, and I know that this kind of thing, like invisible disabilities, I think can also affect so many other people, and it can, what's the word? And even, I'm very fortunate actually, because there's I'd say I've got like two or three who's a 7-year-old, by the way. Uh, um, but definitely, one of my closest chums. I mean, like my wife passed away to my when my illness when my illness happened, it happened in 2009. Yeah, I think I said that. Yeah, but I'd been married, and we were married for 7 years. And I was healthy at the time, thank goodness. But she had really bad health issues, and she passed away in 2002. And so anyway, my chum and me, we both knew each other, and actually he was married, and his wife, she had health issues. She had some, I think, suffered from depression, a few other things that was happening as well. But his wife and my wife were like this, we're just so close. And me and my chum, we were mates. We were actually both healthy. He worked out a lot. He looked amazing. I mean, he actually he had built himself a small gym, actually in his back garden. And he would have guys come around and he would work out with them. And I felt a bit of a slob, but now, he's and his wife actually passed away some time ago, and now he's got issues with his nerves. He's got issues with the mental health issues. And I tell you, if it hadn't been for him, and we're still good chums, we see, we're in contact during the week. He has a car, I don't have a car. I can't afford one, and he takes me shopping, and we go shopping together. And if it wasn't for him, I don't know where I'd be. I mean, he can barely walk. He has to take medication to keep because he gets real bad pains in the legs or in the back. So he has to take medication at night so he can go to sleep. Medication in the morning. Anyway, and so we relate on a lot of levels. Not only with being married and then having our wives pass away, and now we are both unwell. We're about the same age. He's English. We share a lot. He's also a sci-fi nut like I am. Probably not. There's a lot of people. Some not those people who go to like sci-fi conferences. Well, I would love to go to one. But if it wasn't for him, I don't know how I'd survive. And another chum of mine, another mate of mine, he's just so. He's got his own issues, and I've been helping him with some of them. But every time I go around, he cooks for me, and I tell you, that in itself, if you have somebody, right, or if you know somebody that has a mental health issues or physical issues, is my advice: go around and cook for them, or at least have them over. And if they can't come over and you have a car, pick them up or phone somebody to go and pick, or get a cab, have them come over, maybe have them stay over, and then take them back, and cook for them. That will make a difference in their lives. A big, big difference. And I think and I have another buddy who's just gone through a whole of cancer treatment. His wife was really ill as well. And he's just come out of chemo, and he's been doing well. And you know what? Him and his wife had me and my mate and who I was just talking about, who we're in touch with on a week, during the week, and he's taking me shopping when we go shopping together. He had me, him, and his new wife, and they cooked for us amazing meal. I mean, an amazing meal, and that was very humbling. That was, I mean, having somebody who'd gone through chemo, who had cancer, and cooked for you, and it made me realize, life is very precious. Life is incredibly precious. And I mean, you can tell, he's quite gaunt, and I mean, he used to have this olive skin. He's a bit older than I am, but he's gone quite pale, with obviously with the chemo, and the serious stuff he's having done because of his cancer. And he's one of these guys who likes to do things, like most of us guys. We like to go and do stuff, but he is he's realizing, hey, he's got to rest. So anyway, that is just something I wanted to share. It's something that I don't share lightly. Again, I just wanted to put this video out there because of, just getting people to be aware of invisible disabilities, and it's the little things like cooking for them, or going around seeing where they live and hanging out with them, because you never know how long really you're going to have with the person. And I think that's my thing that I really wanted to share with you today. Anyway, I hope you found this helpful. Please send some feedback to me. I've only got 7 subscribers, so please subscribe. My target is 10 subscribers. I got 2 YouTube channels, so I've got to decide which one to share it on. I think one's got 5 and one's got 7. So I put them together, I've got 12. So I guess I'm going for 15 in total for both. But anyway, it's not about subscribing. It's just, if this touches your heart or anything, please get in touch. Please be positive. I'd love to hear your story. If you want to do an interview or just a video chat or something like that, get in touch, please. Or message me. I'd love to hear back from you. Anyway, thank you so much for your time. It's been a long half hour. And my phone's almost dead. So anyway, I'm going to sign off for now. Have a great day. Thank you so much for listening. This is Jason Green, reporting for Go Through the Green Door. And I hope to bring you some more insights and some more cheerful, hopefully next time, stuff on my channel. Take care for now. God bless and have a great day. Bye. Take care of yourselves as well. Please, eat well. And don't eat too late. And sleep well, please. Good sleep is really good needed. Anyway, take care for now. Bye for now. Bye.